This is the story of a village where every day, one man from the village was found dead beneath a banyan tree. The villagers were shocked and terrified by what they were witnessing. One question haunted everyone: who was behind all this? Chaudhryabad was an ancient village where time seemed to have stopped. People here lived under the shadow of old traditions and terrifying tales. In the heart of the village, next to an old mosque, stood a massive tree so ancient that its roots were embedded several feet deep into the ground, and its branches stretched out like claws into the sky. Locals believed this was not just a tree, it was a gateway to another world. According to the elders, anyone who went under the tree after sunset either never returned or came back insane, never uttering a single word for the rest of their life. The villagers called it the cursed tree. No one ever dared to cut it down, because those who even thought about it were either found dead the next day or met with some accident. But Zara wasn't interested in these stories. She was a stubborn and fearless girl who considered all this to be nothing but rural superstition. She was always looking for a chance to disprove these foolish beliefs. She believed fear only existed in weak minds, that in reality, nothing was truly supernatural. One evening, as the sky turned crimson and birds were flying home, Zara challenged her friend Sanaya. "Do you really believe there's something in that tree?" Zara asked, laughing. Sanaya looked nervously at the tree. "Zara, this isn't a joke. My grandmother told me that once a man passed by this tree at night, and he was found dead the next morning. His eyes a broken barrow." "Stop it, Sanaya," Zara said impatiently. "Tonight, I'll prove to you it's all nonsense." Sanaya tried to stop her, but Zara didn't listen. Laughing, she walked up to the tree and grabbed one of its lowest branches, giving it a firm shake. "See, nothing happened," Zara whispered. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind blew, and the branches of the tree started to sway violently as if someone had breathed life into them. Zara looked around, startled. There was a faint whisper in the air, like someone was murmuring secrets into her ear. Then, suddenly, she felt a cold breath behind her neck. Her heart pounded. She spun around but no one was there. Only the dark branches of the tree stretched out like long fingers in the night. Then, in the bushes, she saw two glowing red eyes, staring straight at her. Zara's breath caught. The eyes burned like blood-red coals, hidden somewhere in the shrubs but glowing so fiercely they pierced the darkness and reached into her soul. Instinctively, she stepped back. Dry twigs cracked beneath her feet, and the sound echoed like a scream in the silence. Sanaya shrieked and ran away without looking back. Zara's heart was racing, but she stood her ground. The eyes stayed still for a few moments, then slowly receded into the bush like something retreating. But something was definitely there. Gathering her courage, Zara spoke in a trembling voice, "Whoa, broken bar, who's there?" There was no answer, just the wind rustling through the dry branches of the tree. She scanned the area quickly, but there was nothing, only the long, twisted limbs of the tree in a strange silence unlike any ordinary quiet. Zara tried to compose herself and laughed nervously. "Zara, you're becoming superstitious. It's just animals, a broken bar, or your imagination." But her heart knew it wasn't just in her mind. Suddenly, one of the tree's branches creaked and bent down as if someone had grabbed and shaken it. Zara jumped back and looked toward it. Was it just the wind, or something else? Then came the whisper. "Zara, a broken bar." Zara's blood ran cold. It was like someone was standing right next to her ear, speaking. "Zara, a broken bar, you've come." Her lips trembled. This wasn't possible. No one was there. But that voice, a broken bar, it had a strange pull, as something that filled her with both fear and a nameless, creeping unease. Then suddenly, the eyes began to emerge from the bushes again. Zara's body moved back on its own. A shadow blacker than the night began shifting within the shrubbery. Her breath turned chaotic. Her heart felt like it would burst through her chest. And then, something lunged at her from the bushes. Zara screamed and stumbled backward, falling hard to the ground. She scrambled to get up, but behind her, she heard heavy breathing. She could feel the presence so close that she could sense the warmth of its breath on her neck. Still lying on the ground, she tried to crawl backward. The shadow disappeared into the bushes again as if it had never been there. The wind stopped. Silence deepened. She gasped for breath and tried to stand up quickly. But again, she felt something, a standing very, very close to her, so close that it seemed invisible but undeniably present. Her body went numb. Her mind screamed at her to run, but her feet were frozen in place. "You'll come again, Zara." A broken bar. The whisper was so clear that it tore a scream from Zara's throat. She turned to look into the darkness, but there was nothing, just the same tree, the same bushes, the same eerie silence. With all her strength, Zara broke free of her paralysis and ran like death itself was chasing her. She slammed the door behind her at home, leaned against it, panting. Her heart was pounding like a drum, and her palms were soaked in sweat. She knew something was there, but maybe, just maybe, it was all in her head. Still, those whispers. A broken bar. A broken bar. Zara quickly bolted the door and rushed to her room. She wanted everything to return to normal, but it didn't. It was 2 a.m. The entire house was quiet, but Zara couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned, always feeling like someone was watching her. Then, she heard a faint sound outside the window. Her breath froze. Slowly, she sat up and looked at the window. It was dark. Nothing could be seen, but then a broken bar. A soft knock on the window. Her body froze. Who could it be at this hour? She cautiously walked toward the window and peeked through the curtain. Nothing, just a thin silver mist floating across the ground. She tried to calm herself. Maybe it was just her imagination. But just as she turned away, another knock. This time, with a whisper. Zara. A broken bar. It was the same whisper, exactly the one she heard under the tree. Her mind started to go numb. Her feet moved back on their own. She yanked the curtains shut. Her heartbeat was out of control. Then, the light in the room flickered for a moment. She quickly scanned the room. Nothing, but in the mirror, she thought she saw a blurry shadow, like someone standing behind her. She turned quickly. No one. And the shadow in the mirror. A broken bar gone. Her breath caught. "What is happening to me?" she muttered to herself. The night passed in fear and restlessness. The next morning, the village was in a strange uproar. People looked restless, and some had gathered outside the mosque, whispering among themselves. Zara grew curious. What had happened? She rushed outside and asked some villagers, "What's wrong? Why does everyone look so worried?" An old woman replied in a trembling voice, "Last night a broken bar had died." Zara froze. But how? A young man's voice came from behind her, trembling with fear. "They found his body this morning. A broken bar under the tree." A chill ran through Zara's body. The tree. People said Fahad's face was frozen in fear. His eyes were wide open, as if he had seen something unbearable before he died. There were no wounds on his body, no marks, but his lifeless face told the story of something unspeakable.